Hello. Let's both get on the same page so that our energies are linked together. And we do that by doing our 3 breaths. Let's do breathe in, hold, and release. Again, breathe in, hold, and release. And blow all the air out. And one more last breath. Breathe in, hold, and then release. And those who have joined us, the breaths get us all on the same vibration so that our messages are heard and felt.
What I love about these moments as well is with the way 5D works, there's no barrier to time. Though we are sitting right now recording this, anyone who watches through breathing in, through joining, even though at that point in time I'll be recording the past, can link into the energy this moment, regardless of time. Time so much here and now, we focus on that to the nth degree, yet the beauty of these moments together is they are available to anyone at any time to link into what we have right here, right now, energetically, that will continue, because a second on the clock passes and is over and ends. But time, that's the way time works here. So we could look at a clock, but the energy is always there and available to be leveraged upon or to grow it for whatever a person needs.
At any time.
Yeah.
And that was hard in my beginning to understand, because time is a word or an action to represent from point A to point B.
Right.
But in other dimensions, there is no time.
That's challenging to the impatient human. I'm
true.
laughing at myself here.
But as we evolve, we remember that time is nothing.
Yeah.
And on Earth, though, we think of time as, oh, well, you have to have this done by this time, and this time I have to have kids, and I've got to have a school, I've got to have my degree. But is that really the outcome that you're wanting?
Right.
Which brings us today, we're going to talk about how you sit where you are.
And allow.
And allow. And you have to ask yourself, what are we doing? This is your path. How do you get away from what you're feeling right now in this moment? And we just talked about time, but if you could stop time for you for one moment, just stop and look around, you could change it.
Love that. And I think it's important to add, like, stopping time for oneself so as not to impact others, other free wills, or have any returning consequences of getting too deep with interacting with time, which we know is possible, but to keep it in for that self reflection.
And have to remember that you can't change other people.
Right.
You can only change you. And if you're in a situation and you change self, it will change people around you.
True.
It might not be the outcome that your mind is thinking right now. Think of it as a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my relationship with this person, or my partner, or my children. How do I change?
Right.
And you can only change your perspective.
So what's a tip that you have for someone who is in the trenches, in the mud, in the yuck. Maybe there's just been a falling out. Maybe there's been something that's hurt one to their heart core, or something's just not working out as they wished. And there's just that moment when, you feel that you're just face down in the mud and can't quite get up. And in those moments, it's as though time lasts forever. So, what are some tips that you have to help a person get out of that situation, mental situation, feeling emotionally, where everything's also draining at the same moment?
And again, you have to take that time and breathe. Take that moment and just stop the universe from turning. Take a deep breath. Visualize yourself rising above it. Hold on to that strap that's in a subway or a bus and really pull yourself up out of that mud so that you can see. Because sometimes when you're in that muck, it's dark, it's trying, lonely, and it's frustrating. And when you're in it, you can't think straight.
Right.
That's why in anger management and things like that, they teach you to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Walk away in that moment to calm yourself. They talk about counting to 10 by breathing when you're counting. It's the same thing. So if you just stop, walk away, take your three deep breaths on your way to your desk, go into another room, you can see the situation clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can see the situation clearer, you can see from another person's perspective.
Right.
Maybe you had an outburst from a loved one. When you walk away, you might see their perspective. Maybe you just said, fine. And that person's reaction to something you said put them in a tailspin.
Right.
So, again, to answer your question again, stop, breathe, walk away, and then come back. Because when you're in a neutral position, there's no positive or negative.
I like that.
And you're holding on to your power. You're not giving it away. Instead of being reactionary. So you have this teenager or your loved one screaming at you. I know sometimes it's hard to walk away. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Make an excuse, whatever it might be, but that's my biggest that is my biggest gift to someone, is to teach them how to breathe.
Beautiful. I like that aspect too of just stopping the energetic flow at that moment and just kind of stepping aside, a recalibration moment for everyone involved. Just kind of the breathing, get reconnected, recentered, maybe even see things through a different lens, like you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what would you recommend at that time when not only is the person down, in the muck and you're doing the breathing, you're trying to climb out, and then monkey mind's also chattering along and being unhelpful, notoriously unhelpful?
And that's when you have to teach yourself what to do with monkey mind. I'm a visual person. So when I first learned what that little voice in my head that was very negative, I wanted it to stop. So a lot of times I would teach my clients to see that stop sign when they were spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
Put that stop sign up. And it's just something as easy as stop. I choose joy. Stop sign. Joy.
I like that. And I like that you mentioned the spiral. I think it's good to reflect on that there are moments when we all spiral, and that's okay. But also seeing how quickly one can stop the spiral, step outside of the spiral, and shift momentum, shift energies to get back on track.
Exactly. And I've had clients that if they're on a spiral, it could last weeks.
Wow.
And if you think about it, that's sad.
Yeah.
Because all it is monkey mind and allowing that external energy to affect you.
Right.
But if you learn how to stop monkey mind with, again, that stop sign, it becomes automatic at that point. If you keep using that tool, stop, I choose joy. How does that work? But you're training your subconscious to help you.
Yeah.
You're allowing your subconscious to help you when you use that tool.
And speaking of monkey mind, for those who haven't heard that phrase, how, you described a little bit about what it is, but any other descriptive or key insights you'd share to where someone who's now thinking about that concept could be like recognize when it's monkey mind that they are being experienced or like influenced by?
Recently, I had a friend call, and they were at work, and their boss came by and didn't like a project that they were working on and had said something. It wasn't horrible. And then the boss turned around and walked away. Well, then her monkey mind came in and said, "Oh, you're not good enough for this project. You're not smart. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to get fired over this." Well, those are all negative ideas.
Right.
Those are negative words. Instead of turning that around and saying, "Stop. Walk away. Breathe. Come back and look at the project. Oh, wow, she was right.
Yeah.
Look at this, this, and this." And so you're looking at it from a different perspective. And that's the whole thing. Monkey mind is always negative. And how did you feel when you heard all that?
Right.
It would get you right in your core.
Right.
That's what monkey mind does.
Seems like monkey mind's good at playing on one's insecurities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The negative.
Yeah.
So how are you going to change that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would ask a client. Well, how are you going to change that? What works for you? Pull yourself up out of all of the mud,
Right.
because the mud has, "You're not good enough. You're ugly. You don't deserve. You don't do this." Instead of,
I am.
"I am. This is what I can do."
Yeah.
Can do attitude we teach children.
Yeah. Gratitude.
And gratitude. And when you're in that negative spiral, sometimes it's hard to remember gratitude.
Right.
And I always suggest to anyone from that can write, start a gratitude journal.
Yes.
It's so important. Why gratitude journal? Because you're going to have times in your life where you need to remember something good.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that little girl at the supermarket the other day that turned and said, "You're beautiful. You have a glow around you."
I like that you say that because children are so good at that. And I find myself encouraging people that if you see somebody and you think in your mind, oh, I'd like to tell her I like your blouse, or, you know, even telling the gentleman, I appreciate the way you open the door for your wife, or, you know, just if you feel something in your mind that is beautiful, that would uplift somebody, say it, speak it, share it, and just to get more of the positivity and gratitude circulating out. You know, you never know if you're going to make someone's day, and chances are, if you're feeling that little nudge, that person needs to hear it.
And that's spreading joy.
Yeah.
So again, maybe they needed to hear that little bit of joy.
Yeah.
Maybe they were on a spiral and they were just begrudgingly opening the door for someone.
Right.
But by you changing that energy because you shared your joy.
Be courageous.
And with that, it's just like anything else. When you give something positive, you get it back tenfold.
Yeah.
And on your darkest days, you're going begrudgingly to the grocery store. Maybe a gentleman or a young boy or even a woman will open the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that will change your energy.
Yeah.
And it's all about the energy.
Yeah.
You're changing the energy from spiraling, choosing joy, and in such you're giving joy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think those are great, great tips to help. It seems like a lot of people right now are in challenging situations, and it's just a mess.
It is. And if you just start right now,
Yeah.
if you're listening to us, that is joyful.
Yeah.
That's uplifting because everyone who's listening can feel our joy and our energy.
Yeah.
And that will raise their energy.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Find ways to spread the sparkle.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, thank you to everybody who joined us here, whenever your time works for you to do so. Make it a beautiful day.
Share your joy.
Love that.